रुबायात रुबायात बेसिकली रुबाई की जमा है. It's a plural form, and rubai is the form of a verse in which four line stanzas are introduced. In this poem, Allama Iqbal has written four line stanzas, if you observe. So that's why it is called Rubaiyat. Basically, it's a Persian word. And Allama Iqbal is a renowned poet, thinker, philosopher, and reformer. His work is unique due to high thoughts and inspiring views. He's called the poet of the East, as I told you, Shair Mashriq. He composed his beautiful poetry in Urdu and Persian. Among the Persian poets of modern time, Iqbal stands head and shoulders above his contemporaries, जो उनके हैं उनके हम असर जो शोरा हैं उनसे उनका स्टेटस जो है वो काफ़ी बुलंद है. एंड ही गाइड्स द मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड through his marvelous thoughtful poetry. He is also called our national poet. He wrote many books of poetry, especially in Persian. He also wrote his oratory book called the Khutbat Iqbal, and he has written so many other books of poetry. And through this poem, Iqbal has addressed the Muslims, and he believes that man in the modern age lacks faith and conviction. कि हमारे अंदर यकीन और ईमान की कमी है. People are selfish and worldly wise. They do not have belief in religious, cultural, and social values. Thus, they are completely lost. Only faith can elevate their personality. Without faith, people become slaves of temptations and worldly gains. The poet believes that we need faith of Abraham, may peace be upon him. Hazrat Ibrahim अलैहिस्सलाम जिनको हम कहते हैं, he was thrown in fire but he was saved by his faith. He also believes that the Muslims' harmony depends upon the true faith in Islam. Ethnic and linguistic factors divide them. Cultural divisions are also existing among them, but religion unites them. They should not look towards faithless Europe for attaining dignity and honor. Ironically, however, Muslims are also unable to lead the world. Their soul is without real feelings. They are disorganized and disillusioned. Thus, they cannot provide comfort to others. They are unable to provide a solution to all the problems that are existing in this modern world, of materialism. So, because they themselves have lost their own faith and religious values, they are not following them. So, they are weak and they are hollow. As they have soul without feelings, they have become indisciplined, disorganized, and disillusioned. The Muslims have departed from the true spirit of Islam. The Muslims are lacking the love for humanity, and their all efforts for that humanity has become fruitless. Stanza number 1. Faith is like Abraham at the stake. To be self honoring and God drunk is faith. Hear me, you whom this age's way so captivate. To have no faith is worse than slavery. स्टेक कहते हैं सूली को, लकड़ी का एक जो पिलर सा बनाया जाता है और उस पर किसी भी मुजरिम को लटकाया जाता है टिल डेथ, उसको स्टेक कहते हैं. सेल्फ ऑनरिंग, उन्होंने अपनी इज़्ज़त जो थी अपने खुदा के लिए, बिकॉज ही वॉज गॉड ड्रंक अल्लाह ताला की मोहब्बत में वो मस्त थे. और जो कोई भी मेरी बात सुन रहा है, टू होम दिस एजेस वे सो कैप्टिवेट, क्या आपको इस ज़माने की जो दिलचस्पियाँ अगर अपनी तरफ बरगलाती हैं दिलचस्पियाँ, तो वो सुन लो कि अगर तुम्हारे अंदर फेथ नहीं है, यकीन नहीं है, ईमान नहीं है, तो वो स्लेवरी से भी बुरा है. बेसिकली दीज लाइन्स आर criticism of the poet on the materialistic approach of the modern era. He describes his painful emotions over the loss of faith, which in fact enlightens the way of life. He believes that this faith is necessary to spend life full of dignity and wise and wisdom and all that the things. He believes that men with faith are masters and men without faith are worse than slaves. He also believes that Islamic civilization is a blend of matter and soul. And on the other hand, European civilization is too materialistic. He believes that Europe has no harmony and unity, whereas the Muslims have a center of Makkah to stand united. He also laments that modern man has become a worshipper of wealth and honor. He is devoid of the precious thing that is faith. A Muslim should have a strong faith as Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam had. He had strong and firm faith in Allah. He was thrown by the opponents into the fire. Hazrat Ibrahim had a strong belief that Almighty Allah would never leave him alone and helpless. Due to his eternal faith, he was saved by Allah. No one could change him, no one could snatch his faith. And the poet is aware of the fact why the modern man has lost his wealth of faith and belief. He says that the modern man is dazzled by the glamour and bewitching attraction of worldly things. He has become a victim of materialism. Stanza number 2. Music of strange lands with Islam's fire blends, on which the nation's harmony depends. Empathy of conquered is the soul of Europe, whose civilization to know Makkah bends. The poet is of the view that the European are divided and they are having no faith, true faith in them. They are fighting with one another. They have become victims of materialism. They have no interest in God and religious norms. Islam is the guiding religion for international community. The nation's unity and harmony depends upon it. It leads to Almighty Allah and His uncountable blessings. It should be accepted and followed by the whole world. And in this stanza, he has also sharply criticized the European culture. He says that the Europe has lost its identity. It has become a prey of materialistic approaches. All Europeans revolve around the orbit of worldly things. They are spiritually dead. Iqbal in this way urges the Muslims not to follow the living way of the living style or living ways of Europe. He says that Muslims have their own greatest religion of Islam, and this religion is enough for them to lead the whole world, but they have become the followers of European culture. This is a dreadful and destructive attitude for the Muslims. They should follow Islam and its sublime norms and canons. If they want to survive, they have to uplift their standards of soul and heart regarding belief in God. Stanza number 3. Love's madness has departed in the Muslims' veins, the blood runs thin. Ranks broken, heart perplexed, prayers cold, no feeling deeper than the skin. लव्स मैडनेस, तो खुदा ताला की मोहब्बत का जो एक नशा था, एक जुनून था, वो ख़त्म हो गया, जुदा हो गया, डिपार्टेड, जुदा हो जाना। और मुसलमानों की नसों में जो खून है वो पतला हो गया। खून पतला हो जाना मीन उनमें वो जो मोहब्बत, भाईचारा और यगानगी थी, दैट हैज़ गॉन। रैंक्स ब्रोकन, हार्ट्स परप्लेक्स्ड, परेशान, कि उनके रैंक्स ख़त्म हो गए हैं और उनके दिल परेशान हैं। प्रेयर्स कोल्ड, दुआओं में कोई असर नहीं है। नो फीलिंग डीपर दैन द स्किन, और उनकी जो फीलिंग्स हैं for humanity, for other human beings, and for their own brothers, they are cold. They have nothing original left in them. And he also laments that the Muslims do not have profound love for their religion. वही loves madness कि जो गहरी मोहब्बत होती है, इश्क होता है, वो नहीं है. They have become materialistic. They think that it is a right and honorable way to follow the modern civilization. They are totally destroyed. Their ranks are broken. Their hearts are in anxiety, and their prayers are cold. They do not have love for the humanity. The poet very painfully describes his views about the present condition of the Muslims. He says that they are devoid of love's madness, and Iqbal urges the Muslims to be practical and obey the Islamic principles for attaining dignity and glory that once they had. Their all worries, depressions, and dejections are only due to lack of faith. So, this is all about this poem. Important questions I have uploaded in the description. You may check them.